Ladies and gentlemen, what on earth have I woken up to? Here in the UK, this event is going on pretty late at night, so I always fall asleep to it. I woke up in the morning, I checked Twitter, okay, because I wanted to see how all the players had got on, what the stand-ins were looking like after round two. All I see is the controversy around Magnus Carlsen. I mean, he has completely quit the tournament. It's mental over jeans, people. So here's the story, okay? So Magnus Carlsen, before round two, or day two, I should say, of the tournament, had some business meetings to go to. So he rushed back to his hotel, got changed, even changed his shoes, put a nice I don't know, suit jacket on, and then rushed over to the tournament. He said in an interview he didn't think about the jeans, okay? It wasn't something on his mind, because why would it be? He arrived a couple of minutes late to his first game and, does his meme where he rearranges all the pieces still, even though he's down on the clock. I mean, only Magnus could do that. And after his first or second game, I forget which one, he gets a £200 fine for wearing jeans. Basically, it's a dress code disagreement with FIDE. So they give him a £200 fine, and they say to him, tomorrow you can't be wearing jeans. Okay, it's the principle. Be respectful, sort of thing. And Magnus basically just goes, well, this is a principal thing for me. And yeah, he basically said in an interview, F you guys. Well, he did say that, not basically, and that he's going on holiday. He was punished with a 1 round ban. Okay, so he could have come back and played, but he's already had the not the best start in the World Tour tournament, and to be then stripped of one whole round. I mean, it's crazy. If you ask me, I think this is ridiculous, to be honest. I mean, Magnus is the biggest draw in chess. He's the defending champion of both Rapid and Blitz. So we're now guaranteed a new champion in both, because Magnus isn't playing again. So at the candidates, Magnus didn't play. At the Rapid and Blitz, Magnus hasn't played. He has never lost any of these, okay? He is like the lineal inaugural champion for all three. It's just crazy. Oh my god. So in today's video, we're going to review his last 3 games of the tournament. There are so many games I'd want to review, but this is just the biggest story in chess right now. I mean, this is just huge, so we have to cover this. But before we do that, let's take a little look at the standings so far. So we have Volodor Murzin, I've probably butchered that name, in first place with Jan Christoph Duda, who is someone I am familiar with, Arjun and Grischuk. And then we have loads of big names on 6.5 just right behind these guys. So you got Nodrabek Abdusatorov, you got, who else, Daniel Narodowitsky, the best commentator in chess, by the way. Anish Giri, the biggest troll in chess. Jan Nepomniachtchi. Esipenko, who is really good at Title Tuesday, isn't he? Hikaru, huge name. Levon Aronian, Ali Reza. These guys are on 6. Okay, Levon, Ali Reza are on 6. Hikaru's on 6. Dubov on 6. Oh my god, there's some really big names. Caruana on 6. Okay, so all the big names are still right there or thereabouts. Okay, so here is round 7 for Magnus. So going into this, he is 3.5 out of 6, and his opponent is 3 out of 6. He's playing International Master Brewington Hardaway, and he opens with f3, knight f3, not pawn f3. That would be interesting. And we get a position that looks something like this in the opening. Okay, then Magnus plays d3. Oh my god, okay, so we're already getting e4 here. See, if I'm Brewington, I'm playing the very disciplined move, en passant, which actually isn't, I thought it was going to make the eval bar just skyrocket, but it's not actually that bad a move. Okay, but they didn't play it, and in this position Magnus has to play e5, which he does, because why? Why is that? Let's say he played a move like, I don't know, like this. They then have e5. Oh, okay, so they can just lock up the centre. I see, so that's why it's important to push this pawn. Right. They then play here, so attacking this pawn, so I'd imagine Magnus has to, bring another defender to the pawn, and then the queen attacks the pawn, so he brings another defender to the pawn. So this pawn is looking pretty safe, if you ask me. This pawn comes out, then this pawn comes out. This is such a Magnus move, isn't it? Just fly a pawn down the board. And then this pawn comes out. We get knight over into the centre, probably looking to play like e4 or something, just play in the middle. Bishop comes out. Oh my god, then yeah, this pawn is stopping this knight from jumping in. Bishop comes out. I guess, yeah, it's the only square it can really go to, isn't it? If it goes there, it gets taken. Oh my god, and it can't go here or here either. This bishop is locked in, but obviously Brewington just wants to castle, probably short castle. Pushes the pawn. Oh, long castle. Oh, well, I guess it's not defended by pawns, but look how many pieces are here. I mean, you're not... That's a pretty safe king, if you ask me, you know? What is that for a move? Is that... What? Okay, well... Hang on, I guess if you castle, then, like... Your king doesn't really feel very safe later on in the game. So I guess if you just move your king behind all these pieces, it's safer than if you were short castle or long castle. I mean, long castle looks awful. Okay, so I guess that kind of makes sense. The rook comes over, which is an inaccuracy. This knight jumps in. We get the knight taking the pawn. Knight takes back. Knight takes knight. Oh, I've skipped. Oh, I always do this. Just when it was getting juicy as well. Oh, God, I've skipped. So yeah, knight takes knight. And then Magnus lashes out with this pawn. And then, oh my goodness, this pawn comes in to attack the knight. Does Magnus really sacrifice a knight here? Oh, wait. So you, okay, I do get this actually. So you sacrifice the knight to take the pawn. But let's just say they played a move like this. You could then play like here. And then the queen would have to run away to, probably like here, because obviously this bishop is on this file, this one's here. And then king g1. Okay, I do not understand this at all, never mind. Okay, but in this position, wait, I wonder if also if takes you could just take this bishop. Or is this not a move? Because it's check. Right, they take back, but then don't you just take this knight? Mate in 1, queen h1. Oh my god. Oh my god, so no, that is not an option. That is not an option, people. Okay, so we get, what do we get? We get, okay, so they trade that off. Queen comes forward, one to give a check. Magnus blocks with the pawn, because, like we just found out, this is mate in 1. So, blocks with the pawn. Knight comes jumping in. Oh my god, queen takes with a check. And then they trade off the queens. Oh wow, Magnus just completely winning here. The material's even, but black has an isolated pawn here. And what that means is there's no pawns on either file, on either side of the pawn to defend it. So like here, for example, Magnus's structure, these two pawns defend these two pawns. So there's a pawn structure there. Here it's just an isolated pawn, which will become a weakness as the game goes later on. The knight comes back to a safe square, but then I wonder if you could just take here and double stack these pawns as well. I think you probably can, yeah. But Magnus plays the even better move, rook to e1, and then the knights are traded off. Double stacks the rooks so the king can't take, because obviously it's defended by a rook. Brings the rook in. Oh, this is just scary for black, isn't it? I mean, I'd probably be resigning here. Ooh, what's the best move in this position then, if not taking? Rook. Oh wait, it is rook takes on e8. What was the other one I saw? Rook d6 check. What? Oh, of course, because you have a discovered check on the king, so they'd have to move, and then you just win the other rook as well. So you just up a rook. Wow. But you can also just trade them all off. And then it's just a completely winning endgame for white because the pawns are so active and none of them are isolated pawns. And the king can come in, push here. I mean, none of these are getting through and it's just a 4-on-3 on this side, so just completely winning for Magnus. And once the bishop gets in behind as well, it's just going to start picking off because you can't push because you just take. And then yeah, you have no way to get to this square before Magnus makes a queen. So wow, that is just, yeah, I mean I'd just resign here to be honest. But they play on, they keep going, Oh my god, look at the time advantage as well. Magnus got 8 minutes 41. Brewington's got 47 seconds. So that's another big factor. I mean, this might say +5 for Magnus, but it may as well be +1,000. Like, you're just going to run out of time. And then, yeah, Magnus just starts taking all the pawns. And in this position, yeah, they just resign. Because if you do trade off the bishops, then, yeah, there's really nothing you can do. Because you're just going to lose all these pawns. Oh. Well, that's not good. Maybe you got to play here. Yeah, because then, if you take, Magnus gets a queen before you. Oh, push that the wrong way. And yeah, so Magnus obviously just completely winning there. So let's jump into game 2. Oh, this is such a good tea. In a Chewbacca mug. If you watch Star Wars, you're a legend. If not, don't ever talk to me again. So game 2, round 8. We're playing Danny Dada. Magnus has the black pieces. And yeah, at this point he's 4 out of 7, so could really do with a win here, to be honest with you. We get e4, we get d6. Is this the French by Magnus? Oh no, this might be some advanced variation that I have no idea about, but okay, this looks like a French, doesn't it? This here. If it were me, I'd probably push this pawn, but what do I know? That's just the only line I really know in this position. I don't even know it, it's just from analysing games after. So we get bishop on the long file for Daniel. Short castles, so it's just going to be a pretty structured game. Because obviously opposite castling is when the chaos comes in. Knight on the rim is dim. Rook comes over, so I imagine Magnus's idea is to shuffle this bishop back in there at some point. Attacks the rook with this move. Obviously has to move the rook out the way. Bishop comes back looking to go on to g7 and just hold this long diagonal for the game. And it also acts as good protection for the king. Daniel is repositioning his knight, because obviously on this square you can't jump here, you can't jump here, you can't jump here, so you're going to have to jump in there. Bishop comes onto its g7 square, we get a pawn trade in the centre. Oh, and then a pawn push. Oh, yeah, so obviously you can't take because you just completely weaken your king side. For moves like the queen to come in later on, the knight to jump in. So taking would be bad. So Magnus brings the queen over, bishop comes back, which is an inaccuracy. Is that because you can just trade them off? Why is this bad? Then you take the rook. Yeah, who knows? And that is what happens, yeah. Magnus brings his rook over to the centre. So I'd imagine they're going to move their queen. Oh no, they just block the queen. Queen comes out, attacking b2 pawn, so it has to be defended. Knight comes in, so Magnus now has a double attack on this pawn. So I'd imagine they have to play sort of b3 here. Oh no, queen up. So can you not just take now? You can, and then b3. But then you just come back to b4, and you're fine. Okay, so so Magnus does take, and we do get this exact position. Rook comes up, queen comes in, knight goes backwards. Okay, wonder if there's any tactics here. I mean, I can just look at the eval bar, can't I? Queen takes b4. Oh no, just queen to b4, not takes, there's no x. Knight jumps in, pawn's coming forward, bishop's flying out. Okay, so the rook acts as another defender for this knight here. Okay, pawn tries to kick the queen out, which is an inaccuracy. So Magnus does have winning chances here. It doesn't look very good for white in terms of creating any chances to win, especially because they keep making inaccuracies. Oh, but this is a miss by Magnus. What did Magnus need to play? G takes on f5. Okay. What? Why is that good? And then they play b4. But then you can take and be attacking the queen. So if they were to take the queen, you'd take a queen, and Magnus would just be up 3 pawns. So what is the move here? Queen to e2. And then obviously this one has to come backwards. And then Magnus is still just up 3 pawns, so that just looks completely losing. But Magnus misses it anyway, and then we get a trade-off of pieces. Pawn push, so the queen has to come back, knight jumps out, pawn jumps forward. Oh my god, look at this triple stack of pieces. If Magnus ever takes here now, this is just surely completely winning for white. Oh, you can take with the knight as well. And then you attack this rook. And you're attacking this pawn. So like the rook would have to move to like here, for example. And then you could just take this pawn. That wasn't even the best move though. Wow, that's crazy. So yeah, we get a triple stack. And then Magnus double stacks his rooks. Oh, brings this over here to attack. So is there any tactics here like this when you take with check? King G1. Oh no, because you can always just block, can't you, with a rook or something. Just wondered if there was a perpetual check. And then, oh my god. The evo ball's like having a seizure here. Bishop jumps in attacking the rook, so the rook has to move. Oh, and then Magnus just locks it in. Okay, so this is actually a really strong bishop now. So if you can get any of your pieces in, to like, say your queen came down, all these squares now are protected by the bishop. Pawn comes up. Oh, in this position, the only move that kept the game equal for Magnus is queen to d7. So you're attacking this pawn, your pieces are triple stacked on the d file, but he doesn't find it and plays or. I mean, it just looks really similar, except the pieces aren't triple stacked, because you're still on this diagonal attacking this pawn. What? You can sacrifice the rook here? Oh, okay, so Daniel sacrifices the rook, and if takes, you have to find queen h3. Oh, okay, yeah, so you're just attacking these pieces, aren't you? King probably has to retreat. Wow, okay. God, what a move. And we do get that, and then the pawn is pushed. Interesting. Knight jumps in for Daniel. Ooh, rook comes back. See, the thing is, Magnus is just so... They're both so low on time. I mean, he got down to 12 seconds for this move. So it just makes a complete blunder, because this move, queen h5. Oh my god, wow. And then queen e8 would be... that. Well, that's mate, isn't it? Because the knight protects these squares, as well as the pawn. So what do you need to play here? Queen to e8. And then what if they jump in? Oh, well, I guess you can't now, actually, because the king still defends it. Wow. So we get that. Queen comes out. Oh, but then they give Magnus the chance. And he's always going to take it, isn't he? Or if you push the pawn here, there's still winning chances, but they move the knight over, give a check. And yeah, the game just ends in a complete and utter draw. So round 8 is a draw. So let's jump straight into round 9. Okay, so round 9, Magnus playing Aryan Tari from Norway as well. Wow, it's Battle of Norway, didn't even realise that. Magnus is 5 out of 8. No, he's not, is he? I can't really see. No, it'd be 4 out of 8. And as is Aryan Tari. So the game starts with f3 again. Seems to be Magnus playing f3 every time he has white this tournament. They take the centre. Bishop comes out, so just developing like normal. This pawn obviously stopping the knight from jumping in. Oh my god, I've never put my bishop on that square before. I guess just blocking this pawn in so it can't defend here, because otherwise you just take there. And then however they take back stops them short castling. So that does make sense actually. Wait, oh no, because now the knight can take back, can't it? So just to show you guys, the knight would have to take back, and then if we just got a couple of random moves, the king can now castle still. That makes a lot of sense. But we get c4, trying to break open the centre. Yeah, well, okay, we do get the trade-off of the bishops, a short castle. So Magnus is still ahead on development, where he took that bishop. Knight and queen both attacking the pawn on d5 in the centre. Rook comes out to help. Oh my god, b5 as well. Because if takes, then you can take this. And you'll be attacking here, 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 here with the queen. I mean, that's just such a nice move. But they don't take it. Bring the queen out. Rook comes in. Knight jumps into c5, attacking the queen. Queen goes all the way back to d1. Is that a best move? Oh, it is. I would have put it on queen b2, which is also okay, but queen d1 is better. Who am I to question Magnus? So the knight is rerouted. Pawn takes. Ooh, offers a queen trade. That's interesting. I wonder if Magnus knew at this point that he wasn't going to play tomorrow. And if he just thought, right, I'm just bored, let me just offer a queen trade, let's just get a draw. Arian denies it and tries to play on for a win. Magnus takes the centre with the pawns. We get a5, queen d1, knight to d7, which is an inaccuracy because of knight a4. Magnus plays it. Queen goes back, bishop comes out, trading off the light squared bishops. And now Magnus has a pretty active queen in the middle. Queen comes in to attack the knight. Imagine you get knight c5 here. Oh no, just queen d1. Oh yeah, because if you play this, there's like 1,000 pieces looking at it, and you just lose a pawn. So yeah, queen d1 defending the knight. Rook comes over. Ooh, attacks the queen. Oh wow, so this is a blunder, because of knight to e5. Magnus doesn't find it, but if you did, then what? I don't understand the threat. Could you not just take? And then take? And then take? And you just be up a pawn? Knight b6. Oh wow. Just forking both the rooks. What a move. But Magnus plays knight b6 straight away, and the knights are traded off. Queen comes flying in. Okay, so if someone throws their queen at me and is attacking my pawn, you know, attacking the rook, and I had a rook on the 6th ranked, I'd be so scared. I wouldn't just play h3. Just gonna ignore it. Everything looks fine. We're good. I'd be terrified. Okay, so they push their pawn. Magnus plays the great move b3, attacking this. Can I just take? Oh, would the queen be trapped? Yes, it would. The queen would be trapped. Okay, so in this position, yeah, you have to play a4. Ooh, trades off the rooks. And then queen d5. Wow, this looks completely winning for Magnus, doesn't it? He's up a pawn. His queen's in the middle of the board. This knight is attacking the rook, but this queen's on the side doing nothing. This rook's on the side doing nothing. So we get rook. Oh, why didn't they? Can you not just play here? Queen. Oh no, of course not, because the queen's attacking there. Makes sense. Queen has to come in to defend this rook, because obviously if you just played a random move, for example, like here, you could just win this knight and just be up a knight and a pawn in an endgame, and that would not be good. So queen comes in to defend it, rook goes back so it can't be taken. Queen goes to a3, attacking the pawn on a2. Rook comes up. Ooh. Yeah, I was going to say, that looks like a mistake. If you just take, takes, you're just up a knight again. Okay. So the queen... Okay, so Magnus is just up a knight in an endgame now. Okay, and... Okay, I guess Arian's justification was, look, I've got a passed pawn that's going to run up the board, and there's not a lot you can do about it. Oh, wow. So in this position, Magnus gave a check, so the king has to move to h7, and then the queen comes back to c2, giving a check, and it's protected by the knight. I can't draw arrows. Giving a check, and it's defended by the knight. So if the queen didn't take, and you just went backwards, you lose your queen. So you literally have to take, and then if this pawn ever pushes, you just get gobbled up, and it's a 4-on-3 on this side. So Magnus is just going to completely destroy him in this endgame, and there is nothing you can do about it. So he does just resign, because, yeah, why would you keep playing? Especially Magnus still has 9 minutes 48 to 2 minutes 12. Just disrespectful win there at the end. My god. So yeah, as you can see, Magnus not with the best start to the tournament. I mean, he is in 81st after 8 or 9 rounds, I forget. 8 rounds, I think. So yeah, he's in 81st. it's not the best, is it? And he's not playing anymore. He's going on vacation. He says F you to FIDE. I think a lot of the players were already annoyed with FIDE, who, if you don't know, is like the governing body of chess, just because they weren't going to allow players to play in other tournaments while FIDE tournaments were going on, or something along those lines. I might be wrong on that, so don't quote me. But yeah, so Magnus was already annoyed with that. I think he just said his patience was running thin anyway, so he's not going to play. He's going on holiday, and F you to FIDE. So it does make the tournament, I guess, somewhat more interesting, because we know we're guaranteed new Rapid and Blitz champions. But it's just a shame that Magnus isn't going to be playing. I think he's been treated a little bit harshly here. But obviously, I guess FIDE have their rules, and they have to enforce them. Can't be one rule for one, another for someone else. So you do get it, but hey ho. If you guys enjoyed this review, please leave a like, comment any other video ideas. Please do subscribe, hit the bell, and I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.